National Electrical Code, or NEC, does not specifically address connecting a single-phase motor to a different voltage or using a variable frequency drive, often called a VFD. However, the NEC does require that electrical equipment be installed and operated in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. Therefore, the most important step is to refer to the manufacturer's instructions for the specific motor and variable frequency drive you plan to use. These instructions should provide guidance on the proper connections and any necessary precautions. Understanding the voltage and frequency requirements of your motor is crucial. Most single-phase motors are designed for 230 volts, and they can usually handle a voltage variance of up to 10%. Therefore, connecting to a 240 volts line voltage is generally acceptable because 240 volts falls within that acceptable range of variance. However, connecting a 230 volts motor to a 208 volts line voltage is generally not recommended, as it may cause the motor to overheat or underperform due to the lower voltage supplied. If the manufacturer's instructions specifically allow it, you may use a variable frequency drive to adjust the frequency and voltage to the appropriate values for the motor. A variable frequency drive can be used to control the speed and torque of the motor by varying the frequency and voltage supplied to the motor. Variable frequency drives can also be used to limit the voltage supplied to the motor, which can be beneficial when connecting to a higher voltage source, such as 240 volts. When using a variable frequency drive, it is essential to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully, as incorrect settings can damage the motor or the variable frequency drive itself. Here are some recommendations. Firstly, always consult the manufacturer's instructions for both the motor and the variable frequency drive. Secondly, if connecting to a 208 volt source, proceed with caution and ensure that the manufacturer's instructions specifically allow for it. Thirdly, use a variable frequency drive to limit the voltage supplied to the motor if connecting to a higher voltage source. Fourthly, it is advisable to have the installation inspected by a qualified electrician to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and standards. For example, let's consider a hypothetical situation where you have a 230 volt single-phase motor that you need to connect to a 240 volts power supply. You would first check the motor's nameplate to confirm its voltage rating. Then, you would consult the manufacturer's instructions to see if it can handle the 240 volts supply. If the manufacturer allows it, you can connect the motor directly to the 240 volts supply. However, if the manufacturer recommends using a variable frequency drive, you would need to install one between the power supply and the motor. The variable frequency drive would then be programmed to output 230 volts to the motor. Now let's consider another scenario where you have a 230 volt single-phase motor that you need to connect to a 208 volts power supply. In this case, you would definitely need to use a variable frequency drive. The variable frequency drive would need to be programmed to boost the voltage from 208 volts to 230 volts. In addition, the variable frequency drive can be used to adjust the frequency of the power supply to match the motor's requirements. It's important to remember that electrical codes and regulations can vary depending on your location. Therefore, it's always best to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that your installation complies with all applicable codes and standards. Let's elaborate further on the considerations for both 240 volts and 208 volts connections. When connecting a 230 volts motor to a 240 volt supply, even though it's generally acceptable due to the typical 10% voltage tolerance, it's crucial to monitor the motor's performance after installation. Pay attention to the motor's temperature and listen for any unusual noises. If the motor is running hotter than usual, or if you hear any unusual sounds, it could indicate that the voltage is too high. In this case, using a variable frequency drive to reduce the voltage to 230 volts is a good idea. On the other hand, when connecting a 230 volts motor to a 208 volt supply, the lower voltage can lead to reduced torque and increased current draw. This can cause the motor to overheat and potentially damage the windings. Therefore, it's even more critical to use a variable frequency drive in this situation. The variable frequency drive can boost the voltage and adjust the frequency to ensure that the motor receives the correct power. When selecting a variable frequency drive, make sure it is appropriately sized for the motor. The variable frequency drive's current rating should be equal to or greater than the motor's full load current. Also, the variable frequency drive should have the necessary features such as voltage boosting and frequency adjustment capabilities. Programming the variable frequency drive correctly is also essential. The variable frequency drive's parameters should be set according to the motor manufacturer's recommendations. This includes setting the voltage, frequency, and current limits. If you are not familiar with programming variable frequency drives, it's best to consult with a qualified electrician or variable frequency drive technician. They can help you select the right variable frequency drive and program it correctly for your specific application. Remember, safety is always the top priority when working with electricity. Always disconnect the power supply before working on any electrical equipment. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it's best to hire a qualified electrician to do the job. They have the knowledge and experience to ensure that the installation is done safely and correctly. In addition to the above, consider the following points regarding motor protection. Motors, especially when run with variable frequency drives, can benefit from additional protection measures. Overload protection is crucial to prevent the motor from overheating due to excessive current draw. This can be achieved using thermal overload relays or electronic overload protection built into the variable frequency drive. Short circuit protection is also important to protect the motor and the wiring from damage in case of a short circuit. Fuses or circuit breakers can be used for this purpose. Furthermore, consider using surge protection devices to protect the motor and variable frequency drive from voltage spikes and surges, which can be caused by lightning or other electrical disturbances. Proper grounding is also essential for safety and to prevent electrical noise from interfering with the operation of the motor and variable frequency drive. Ensure that the motor and variable frequency drive are properly grounded according to the NEC and local electrical codes. When installing the motor and variable frequency drive, pay attention to the ambient temperature and ventilation. Motors and variable frequency drives generate heat during operation, so it's important to ensure that they are adequately cooled. Avoid installing them in enclosed spaces with poor ventilation. If necessary, use fans or other cooling devices to maintain a safe operating temperature. Regular maintenance is also crucial for the longevity of the motor and variable frequency drive. This includes inspecting the motor windings for damage, checking the bearings for wear, and cleaning the variable frequency drive's cooling fans. It's also a good idea to periodically check the variable frequency drive's parameters to ensure that they are still set correctly. Keep detailed records of all maintenance activities. This information can be helpful for troubleshooting problems and for planning future maintenance. In summary, connecting a 230-volt single-phase motor to either 240 volts or 208 volts power supply requires careful consideration of the manufacturer's instructions, NEC, and the specific application. Using a variable frequency drive is often necessary to ensure that the motor receives the correct voltage and frequency. Always prioritize safety and consult with qualified professionals when working with electricity. To further illustrate the importance of consulting manufacturers' instructions, consider that some motors might have internal protection mechanisms or specific wiring configurations that are not immediately obvious. The manufacturer's documentation will outline these details, preventing potential misconfigurations or damage. For instance, some motors may have multiple voltage taps, allowing them to be connected to different voltage levels directly without a variable frequency drive, but only if the available voltage matches one of the tap settings. Attempting to connect such a motor to a voltage that doesn't match a tap could damage the motor. Similarly, the variable frequency drive's documentation will specify the acceptable input voltage range and provide detailed instructions on how to program the variable frequency drive for different motor types and voltage levels. Ignoring these instructions could lead to incorrect settings, resulting in poor motor performance, overheating, or even permanent damage to the motor or variable frequency drive. Another aspect to consider is the motor's insulation class. The insulation class indicates the maximum temperature that the motor's windings can withstand without degrading. Operating a motor at a higher voltage or frequency than it is designed for can cause the windings to overheat, which can shorten the motor's lifespan. The manufacturer's instructions will specify the motor's insulation class and provide guidelines on how to operate the motor within its safe temperature limit. In addition to voltage and frequency, consider the motor's load characteristics. The load characteristics describe how the motor's torque and speed vary with changes in load. Some motors are designed for constant torque applications, while others are designed for variable torque applications. Using a motor in an application that it is not designed for can lead to poor performance or premature failure. The manufacturer's instructions will specify the motor's load characteristics and provide guidance on how to select the right motor for your specific application. Regarding grounding, it's important to use the correct grounding techniques and materials. The NEC specifies the requirements for grounding electrical equipment, and it's essential to follow these requirements to ensure safety and prevent electrical shock hazards. Use appropriately sized grounding conductors and connect them to a properly grounded electrical panel. Avoid using water pipes or other non-approved methods for grounding. When using a variable frequency drive, it's important to use shielded cables for the motor connections. Shielded cables help to reduce electrical noise and prevent it from interfering with the operation of the variable frequency drive or other nearby equipment. Connect the cable shields to the variable frequency drive's grounding terminal. Also, consider the harmonic content of the variable frequency drive's output. Variable frequency drives can generate harmonic currents which can distort the voltage waveform and cause problems with other electrical equipment. To mitigate harmonic currents, consider using harmonic filters or reactors. These devices can reduce the harmonic content of the variable frequency drive's output, improving the power quality of the electrical system. Furthermore, be mindful of the motor's starting current. When a motor starts, it draws a large amount of current, which can cause voltage dips and potentially trip circuit breakers. To reduce the starting current, consider using a soft starter or a variable frequency drive with a soft start feature. These devices gradually increase the voltage applied to the motor during startup, reducing the inrush current. Consider the environmental conditions in which the motor and variable frequency drive will be operating. If the environment is dusty, humid, or corrosive, it's important to select motors and variable frequency drives that are designed for these conditions. Enclosures are available to protect the motor and variable frequency drive from harsh environments. Finally, remember that electrical work can be dangerous. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it's best to hire a qualified electrician to do the job. They have the knowledge, skills, and experience to ensure that the installation is done safely and correctly. They can also help you troubleshoot any problems that may arise. In addition to the points already mentioned, there are some other crucial aspects to consider when connecting a 230-volt single-phase motor to different voltage supplies, especially when using a variable frequency drive. One important factor is the motor service factor. The service factor is a multiplier that indicates the motor's ability to handle occasional overloads. A motor with a service factor of 1.0 is designed to operate at its rated horsepower continuously, while a motor with a service factor of 1.15 can handle a 15% overload for short periods. When connecting a 230 volts motor to a 240 volts supply, the motor may run slightly hotter than normal due to the higher voltage. If the motor has a low service factor, it may be more susceptible to overheating. In this case, it's important to monitor the motor's temperature closely and consider using a variable frequency drive to reduce the voltage if necessary. Another consideration is the motor's efficiency. Different motors have different efficiency ratings, which indicate how well they convert electrical energy into mechanical energy. Higher efficiency motors consume less energy and generate less heat. When connecting a 230 volts motor to a 208 volts supply, the motor's efficiency may be reduced due to the low voltage. This can result in increased energy consumption and higher operating costs. Using a variable frequency drive to boost the voltage can help to improve the motor's efficiency and reduce energy consumption. Furthermore, consider the motor's power factor. The power factor is a measure of how effectively the motor uses electrical power. A power factor of 1.0 indicates that the motor is using power efficiently, while a low power factor indicates that the motor is using power inefficiently. When connecting a 230 volts motor to a 208 volt supply, the motor's power factor may be reduced due to the lower voltage. This can result in increased current draw and higher energy costs. Using a variable frequency drive with power factor correction can help to improve the motor's power factor and reduce energy consumption. When selecting a variable frequency drive, consider its control method. Different variable frequency drives use different control methods, such as volts per hertz control, sensorless vector control, and closed-loop vector control. Volts per hertz control is the simplest control method, but it may not provide the best performance for all applications. Sensorless vector control provides better performance than volts per hertz control, but it requires more complex programming. Closed-loop vector control provides the best performance, but it requires the use of a motor encoder to provide feedback to the variable frequency drive. Choose the control method that is best suited for your specific application. Also, consider the variable frequency drive's communication capabilities. Some variable frequency drives have built-in communication interfaces, such as Modbus, Ethernet, or Profibus. These interfaces allow the variable frequency drive to be connected to a programmable logic controller, or PLC, or other control system. This can allow for remote monitoring and control of the motor. Furthermore, consider the variable frequency drive's braking capabilities. Some variable frequency drives have built-in braking resistors, which allow the motor to be stopped quickly. This can be useful in applications where rapid deceleration is required. If the variable frequency drive does not have a built-in braking resistor, an external braking resistor can be added. When installing a variable frequency drive, pay attention to the wiring. Use appropriately sized conductors and follow the manufacturer's instructions for wiring the variable frequency drive to the motor and the power supply. Improper wiring can damage the variable frequency drive or the motor. In addition to the above, consider the motor's nameplate data. The motor's nameplate provides important information about the motor's characteristics, such as its voltage, current, horsepower, speed, and service factor. This information is essential for selecting the right variable frequency drive and for programming it correctly. Finally, remember that electrical codes and regulations can vary depending on your location. Therefore, it's always best to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that your installation complies with all applicable codes and standards. Consider the altitude at which the motor and variable frequency drive will be operating. At higher altitudes, the air is thinner, which can reduce the motor's cooling capacity. If the motor is operating at a high altitude, it may be necessary to lower the motor's horsepower to provide additional cooling. Also, consider the presence of any flammable or explosive materials in the area. If the motor and variable frequency drive will be operating in a hazardous location, it's important to select equipment that is designed for use in such locations. Explosion-proof motors and variable frequency drives are available for use in hazardous locations. Remember to keep the motor and variable frequency drive clean and free of debris. Dust, dirt, and other contaminants can interfere with the motor's cooling and can damage the variable frequency drive's components. Periodically clean the motor and variable frequency drive with a vacuum cleaner or a brush. When working on electrical equipment, always use appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, such as safety glasses, gloves, and insulated tools. This will help to protect you from electrical shock and other hazards. If you are unsure about any aspect of the installation, it's always best to consult with a qualified electrician. They have the knowledge and experience to ensure that the installation is done safely and correctly. Remember that the information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with qualified professionals before making any decisions about electrical installations.